Alright everyone, here I am doing the front bearings now on this fine Cadillac. It is a 2008 CTS 4 all-wheel drive V6 3.6 liter, and I've done a video on the rear just recently, believe it or not, clearing the codes, driving the car. Then a code for the front bearing came up within 5 minutes of driving the car. It's amazing how things go out so close together. Basically you can jack the car up and get your head in there behind the wheel, and this is the front hub. This is where your upper ball joint is, and your tie rod, and your lower ball joint goes through here. Here's where the sensor, your ABS sensor or wheel sensor, goes in. Now, when you jack the car up, you can look in. This is where the axle goes through. You jack the car up, and you can peek in through this spot next to the axle, because the axle is going to be here. It's going to be taking up a lot of space, but you can peek in through here, and you can look at this toner ring. Well, here, ding. Let's set this up real quick so you can get a good idea of what I'm talking about. Alright. Basically, this is what it's going to look like. It's not pressed in, so it's going to be in there a lot further, but you can peek in here and see the toner ring. That's what this is. Right? And basically what I did is I turned the wheel while looking in here, and if this toner ring doesn't spin with the wheel, or if it has any cracks missing, if it has any spots missing out of it, that's how you know it's bad. It's supposed to turn with the wheel. See how, the ring isn't moving. It would spin with the wheel and the axle. That's what it's supposed to do. So jacked the car up, looked in there, and I could see that when the wheel was turning, the toner ring was not turning. So that's how I know it was bad. And it had a code. So here I am a day later doing the front passenger side. So same deal, I was able to get these. This isn't the same. Basically, I started off by just unbolting the whole caliper and bracket. I just took these two bolts out, wiggled the caliper to get the pads loose on the rotor, and I took the whole caliper and bracket off together with the pads loaded in it and everything, and I zip tied it up to the spring inside the wheel, which I guess I can go show you real quick. Turn the light on this. This is just an easy, fast way to do it. Here's the caliper with everything on it. Yeah, I did loosen up the bolts, but I did not separate them. You don't have to, no need. Leave everything together. There's your axles in, tie rod, upper control arm, lower control arm. You don't have to undo any of that. I don't even think you need to support it, because the strut's connected to the lower control arm. So, but to be safe, I'm supporting it. In the back, you most certainly need to support it in the back, but in the front you can get away with not supporting it. But just support it. Just do that for me, and be safe. I'm not 100% sure on whether you can go without supporting it or not. Anyway, so what I wanted to try to do was pull this bearing assembly out of the hub here without taking all this off. Like in the rear, I suggest you take the hub out and do it on the ground, because these bolts are hard to get out. They can strip. I had to cut the ones on the job I just did because they were about to round out. They were so seized in there they wouldn't come out. Anyway, so I took the caliper bracket and caliper off, rotor off. I was able to loosen these 3 bolts with this in the car. But if you can see here, this is the real issue. This corrosion here, it I guess on the last the last bearing there's like a groove in the assembly I took out. Let's see. Here's the old ones right here. This is the one I just took out. Yeah. This is the issue here. This has got a ridge. See how it's not the same radius? This is a larger radius than this is. Well, there's a gap, an air gap. And that air gap basically allows this corrosion to build up. And when this corrosion builds up, it makes it damn near impossible to pull this assembly out. To pull this assembly out of here with the axle and everything through it, I mean, it would be possible if the car was new. But the car is not new, and there's all that corrosion in there. So, I'm assuming your car, everyone's car, will have the same corrosion. This is why you cannot just get it out with it in the car. So, maybe a slide hammer. People say you get these 3 bolts loose, and you can bolt a slide hammer to this and, pull it out, possibly. Maybe. If you want to try that before taking this out, you can. But honestly, 3 bolts, tie rod and 2 ball joints. It's not that hard to get this off. And then you can do it on the ground. You can just hit the back side of it with the hammer. That's how I popped it out. But now for reassembly, you're going to want to grind all of this stuff out of here. All of this corrosion, because I'm not going to be able to get this new one in with that corrosion in there. So that's what you're going to need to do. Knock this corrosion out of there. And then I'm going to put anti-seize. Hopefully I'll never have to do this again. But same with the back. I put anti-seize on these surfaces. And maybe I'll put some in here. And if it ever needs to be done again, because these were, $50 wheel bearing here on Craigslist. Or not Craigslist, Amazon. $179 at AutoZone. This is $50 on Amazon. Overnight shipped. So I'm going to clean this up. Wire wheel, flapper disc, some basic tools. We'll clean that up and reassemble this stuff. And when I go to put it in the car, I will make another video and show you how simple it is to get all this stuff back in. But hey, I appreciate you watching my video. I'm going to be posting a lot more of the projects I do here at home. And who knows where it'll go. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll answer any questions I can as soon as possible. Thank you, guys.